to an addition of core on the floor. I know you've been asking for this for a while, so I finally found some room in my schedule to update a video with this today. Everything will be on the mat today, so on the ground. We are going to use a couple pieces of equipment that you can pause right now and get them if you'd like to. But I would like you to get a belt, like we use in class, regular belt. You can use a belt like you do to hold up your pants. That works just fine as well, or any type of rope or cable, but a band for, or strap for stretching later. And then a TheraBand. And then a small weight or even a water bottle, a full water bottle will work, or a can of soup, but anything like 1 to 3 pounds is what we're looking for today for our weight. But that's it as far as our equipment goes. And we will start in quadruped position. So take your time getting in quadruped, getting those hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Take a deep breath in through the nose, reach the chin up, reach the hips up. And then slowly exhale, tucking the chin in, tucking the hips in. And keep repeating this motion here, nice and easy. Don't hold any certain spot for too long. Letting that back flow here, nice and easy. Just getting it warmed up for the exercises that we're going to move through. Concentrate on that breathing here, breathing in as we expand that stomach. Exhale as you crunch back into center. And settle in here. Still keeping those hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips. Just want to do a couple of fire hydrants here, alternating sides. We're just going to keep those hips even, stomach tight. Lift that knee up to the sky, holding it here for a second or two. Slowly down, and switching legs. As we do this, try to keep that weight evenly distributed between those hands. You'll feel your body wanting to shift from side to side, but do your best to keep that weight evenly distributed between the two hands, as well as keeping those hips nice and square, keeping that core contracted, nice hollowing of that stomach. Keep going here, just warming up those abductors. Relaxing here, shifting back for a second. Roll out those wrists real fast. Just want to do one more thing for our warm-ups before we move on to some bird dogs. Just want to give those wrists a break. Once you're ready, you can bring yourself down. We're just going to turn to some mule kicks here. So those knees are going to be at 90 degrees. Think about pushing the bottom of the foot up to the sky. Holding it up at the top here, stomach tight, hips still even. Slowly back down and switching sides. Alternating here. Pushing the bottom of the foot up towards the ceiling. Try to keep those hips nice and even. And slowly back down. And focus on that slow, deep breathing. It's a hard class, but it should also be a calm class. Slow and controlled, focus on keeping that stomach tight, focus on keeping those hips even, staying in control here. One more each side. And relaxing down, shift back a little bit. Just roll out those wrists real fast. Now we'll get into some bird dogs. Switch between some bird dog variations and into a child's pose to relieve those shoulders and wrists. Let's go ahead and drop those hands back down in front of the shoulders. Get those knees below the hips and as wide as the hips. Let's just start with a regular bird dog hold here. So tighten that stomach. Let's extend out the left arm, right leg. Keeping those hips nice and even. Holding it here. Hold it for about 30 seconds on each side. Just focus on that deep breathing, tight core, and those nice even hips. And then remember also to tuck that chin up so your head's not drooping down. Work on that good neck posture by tucking that chin up as we hold this. Slowly down, switching sides. Right hand, left leg extend out. Tighten that stomach, keep those hips even. Chin tucked up. And relaxing down, switching sides, left arm, right leg, extending out, hips nice and even, tight stomach. Relaxing down, switch one more time here. Extend that right arm, left leg out, hips nice and even, stomach tight, keeping that chin tucked up. Or I should say chin tucked back. Giving yourself that nice double chin feeling here. It helps maintain those proper postural neck muscles. Prevent that forward head motion. And relaxing down. Let's go ahead and shift back, pushing through the hands, sink those hips back, drop the head down. Relaxing here. Remember to keep those hands nice and stretched out, arms are straight. You should be feeling this stretch down in the lats, those muscles below the armpits, the latissimus dorsi. But sink those hips back as your hands are trapped and arms are outstretched. And just think about our slow, deep breathing as we hold this stretch. Taking your time, shifting forward, back into quadruped position, hands back below those shoulders, knees below the hips here. And let's go to some bird dog pulses this time. Just extend out left arm, right leg. Keeping those hips even, stomach tight. Keeping that chin tucked back up towards the ceiling. And then bring that elbow and knee right below that shoulder and hip. And then slowly back out. Slow and controlled here. Think about breathing in as you extend out. Exhale back to center. Slow and controlled. Switch sides here, dropping that hand down. Let's go right arm, left leg, tighten that stomach, reaching out, keeping those hips even, chin tucked back. And then elbow into below the shoulder, knee below the hip, hovering that knee, and then extending back out. Slow and controlled movements. Breathing in as we stretch out. Exhale back to center. Relax that hand and knee down. Walk those hands out. Sink those hips back into child's pose. Relaxing that head down. Slow, deep breaths here. Start to shift forward. Hands back below those shoulders. This time I want you to walk those knees back. We're going to go into one plank here, just one, I promise. So for our planks, you can stay here, keeping that stomach tight. Make sure if you're here, you want to maintain that flat line, straight line from the shoulders down to the back of the knees. If you want to make it a little harder, you can tuck those toes under and lift up here. Same thing here, keeping those that back nice and flat, stomach tight, and then relax those shoulders. Keep that chin tucked up though. So take a second to think about which one you'd like to do. And then we're going to do a 1 minute hold here. Remember, you can take breaks whenever you need to with this one. So tighten that stomach. Let's go ahead and start here. Slow, deep breaths while we hold this lovely plank here. And remember here to keep those shoulders relaxed. I know mine were hunched, I could feel them. And to keep that stomach tight. Don't let those hips dip too far low. Don't let them be too far high. And them nice and flat. Flat back here, good posture. "30 seconds left. And slowly relax. Bring those knees down. Let's take a second, roll out those wrists, roll out the shoulders. Give those wrists a break here. We're just going to do one more quadruped movement, and then we'll move to our side and continue on. Okay, back into quadruped. I'm going to shift into a downward dog here. So I still want to walk those hands a little farther in front of those shoulders this time. I want you to tuck those toes under, lift those hips up, push through your hands so the weight is on the back on those heels. Those heels, getting that stretch in the calves here, but push through the hands, push the weight back onto those feet. Actively push your hips up at the same time as you're pushing back on your hands to create this glorious stretch on the posterior part of your leg. Just holding here, pushing through those hands, weight back on the feet, hips actively pushed up to the ceiling to create that intense stretch in the posterior side of the leg. Gonna hold this for about 30 more seconds. I know it feels great. Endure with the short term. Long term, this will make you feel even better. 15 seconds. And slowly drop those knees down. Relaxing here. You can roll out wrist if you want to. We're going to grab our small weight or water bottle or can, whichever you prefer, and then head to the side. Let's go right side down first. Moving right along here. We're just going to go into some side planks or double leg raises. So as you get set up, I'll go through the variations again. So working the obliques here. So either you can go side on here, legs stacked, and raise the legs up. So here's one variation. If you want to make it a little harder, you can bend those knees, bring the elbow below the shoulder, and lift the hips up. And then if you're here, actively push those hips up. You're going to work the underneath oblique. Or if you want to make it even harder, legs straight out, or one just a little bit in front of the other, raising up here. You can always have a hand in front to give you a little extra support, but actively push those hips up. So go ahead and get yourself situated with the exercise variation that you want here. But either way, stack those legs on top of each other. Push those legs back to keep that hip flexor stretched out. And let's go ahead and start here. So either raise those legs up or raise the hips up. But keep those legs or hips pushed high here. Just gonna hold it here. Slow, deep breaths as we hold this. "15 seconds left. And relax those hips down. You're welcome to relax the head all the way down or prop it in your hand. You're going to have that water bottle, weight, or can in front of you. Keeping the stomach tight, hips push back. Just do the raise up, straight arm raising up. And here's the tricky part. As you lower that arm down, try to prevent those hips from moving. So you're going to need to keep that core as tight as you can here. And then as far as our breathing cadence, exhale up. Inhale as you slowly lower, keeping control, hips even. And relax that weight down. We're just going to do a second set here, either with those double leg raises or the side planks. You're going to get yourself set up. If you're doing the double leg raises, stack those legs, push the legs back to open up the hip flexors. Or if you're doing the regular plank, bring yourself up on that elbow. Let's go ahead and tighten the stomach and either raise those legs up or raise the hips up. I'm going to start here. Slow, deep breaths as you hold this lovely plank. If you're all the way up here, make sure those hips are nice and stacked on top of each other. Same as if you're down on your knees. Want those hips stacked on top of each other. Keep that core engaged, tight stomach here. Like someone's about to tickle you. You want that type of stomach tightness. Keep actively either pushing those legs or hips up, depending which position you're in. 10 more seconds. And relax down. Bring yourselves all the way down. You can either drop the head to the mat or cup it in a hand. We're just going to grab that weight again. Tighten that stomach. Start with those raises. Exhale up. Inhale and lower. And relax. Take your time switching sides.